G'day guys, welcome to the channel. If you want to know how to jack up your Subaru Brumby, this is a video for you. Now let me show you how. Here you go guys. We're going to pull all the driveline apart. We're going to pull the front and the rear, all the wheels, all the suspension, all that kind of stuff. We're going to pull all that apart. And there's a surprise at the end, so stick around for that. Let's get into it. Here we go. Just a little tip for when you're pulling a motor out and you're trying to keep majority of the electrical side of things. Just label things as you go. A little bit of tape, Nico pen, nice and easy. Then you'll know when you need to put the starter back on. Here's a strange thing. Oh, look at this. How much corroded powder came off that radiator hose. It's like there's nearly no alloy left. It's pretty crusty. I don't think they used coolant for many, many years. Oh, good old thing lasted forever. Anyway, on to something else. Okay, I've got all the boxes of stuff which I've got laying over on my bench over there, out of the front cab. And now I've just got to rip the carpet up and unscrew these side plastics in case I do some welding or whichever underneath. We don't want things to catch on fire. So, and while I'm there, I'll undo the gear lever and all that kind of stuff so it pulls out when I get to finish pulling the motor out. So let's get into that. Well, the whole interior is unbolted and cleaned and removed. I even vacuumed the floor. Yeah, I'll probably do it more than I do my own car. But anyway, she's ready to go. Let's do the old push button lift thing and see what we can do. I've undone most of the bolts in the engine bay, 99% of them. All we're going to do is undo the bottom half, like all the K-frame and things like that. And while I'm there, I'll remove the rear diff and its cradle. So let's get into that. You can really see the extent of the rust on this poor old thing. You can see why I'm not interested in trying to make it original now. It's just too much work for me. I'd rather cut all this out, cut all of this out and put some box steel in there so I can make it into a rock slider of some kind. It'd be heaps more durable and it'll be perfect for being a real four-wheel drive. Anyway, so let's start pulling these hubs and components, and I've taken the tops off the shock towers, so under all the brake lines, all of everything. Oh, that's a braided line. Who would have gone to that much trouble? Oh, and there, that's where the handbrake is at the front. How unusual. And the funny part with the back one, there's no drive shaft in this one. She's just Bluetooth. So, anyway, I'll start pulling all that out. Oh, look at that. Can you see right in there? It's a bit hard to see. It's just a bolt with no nut on it. So someone borrowed it. And there's no brake line, no connecting brake line. She's, yeah, this must have been a parts car. Anyway, let's get this whole rear cradle out and everything else and see if we can get that chassis under there. Let's get into that. Well, there's the rear cradle out. We had a few issues. There's a couple of bolts still stuck in there. They snapped off. Man, I couldn't get anywhere. Like 2 rattle guns, the battery one, the air operated one, the breaker bar, and a bit of pipe later. We snapped a couple, and even a smaller one that held the moustache bar on. You know, this funny bow looking thing. It's called a moustache bar. So yeah, broke that one in there, but it's down. I was hoping to use these main mounts to connect to the chassis, but that may or may not happen now. Anyway, I'll see how that pans out. While I'm at the back here, I might as well remove the tank. And the whole time I've been under here, all I can smell is stale fuel. So I'll empty the drain plug, which you don't see on many cars. I'll empty the drain plug and see what guns comes out of it. That'd be interesting. Anyway, let's carry on. I'll get this out of the way and keep going with the next bit. Here we go. Oh, look at that. That's out of the fuel tank. That's brown petroleum fuel. It's still a bit frothy. It stinks like anything. Couldn't run a car on it. Anyway, I'll let that drain for a bit, see how we go. Still going. I didn't think there'd be that much in the tank. Hopefully the car doesn't tip over. Still going. Got all over me. Well, that was enjoyable, getting all that dirt on my face. I think there's more dirt in here than there is outside at the moment. Yeah. She was caked. Okay, I'm back. New day. And I'm awake. I've just cleaned up a little bit from yesterday's mess. Yeah, smelly mess. Like I got rid of the fuel tank, the rear end, it's all out. And there's a bit of a pile of dirt that well, half of it landed on me, but if you have a look at that, I mean, there'd be a couple of kilos of dirt there. I should save that for some pot or something to do some gardening with. Let's get into removing the front end, or finish removing the front end. I've unbolted everything at the top, as I said before. Get a stack of pallets together. So let's get into that, and we should have this out before morning tea, I reckon. Okay, I got all those bolts loose. That one there. There's one up in there, and there's a hidden one up around the corner here. Right in the corner. Now, I thought, oh yeah, it's going to be like the back ones. I snapped a couple off here, I just couldn't get into them. Anyway, they must have thought ahead, because there's a big hole there, and I just squirted a big heap of WD-40 in there. Same with that one. And where are we? These ones here, very tricky. That one there has a hole. You can just, if I can get the camera to work, there's a hole right there. And you just squirt a heap of stuff into there. And it works. And they've all come undone. Now I can stack a bunch of pallets under here and lower it down onto that. And then they'll just all come out. So I've unhooked the brake lines and all the other bolts that hold it on, and it's sitting on the pallet. All I gotta do is hopefully just go straight up to the hoist. Steering, yes, I've undone the steering. Let's see if it'll come apart. So there we go, we have separation, complete separation. So now I might go and have a cuppa with the boss, and then I'll come back and get this out of the way. And then I'm excited to get the chassis under this little baby. Let's get into that. Well, I'll see you in a couple of minutes. Okay, that's a nice cuppa. Let's get the tractor under here and get rid of this motor. Let's get into that. We got the chassis in the shed, and all I got to do now before I try and lower it down is remove the master cylinder. I don't know why I left it on there. I guess I was just being hopeful that it'd sort of be somewhere close to being in the right spot. but I'm either going to have to make some new lines or bend these like crazy to get them to work. Anyway, also I've got to remove temporarily the fuel filler for the tank, because the tank's bolted in the chassis, which is the way I like it. Okay, so I'll move those couple of things and then we can lower it down. Oh, it's getting exciting. It's on. It's a little bit high at the moment, but it's on. Looking under here, next to that rag, is the shock tower mount for the Jeep. That black thing there. It's touching the, well, sort of the chassis rail, the monocoque chassis for the Brumby. And I've got it blocked at the back. Just a few little stack of blocks. It's still too high for my liking. Well, it's, what's the word? It's high enough, but it's not low enough. But doesn't it look awesome? I think I've got to get this outside. How bloody nice does that look? That looks pretty freaking good, eh? Yeah. Yeah, don't have to look at me. There's the car. It looks good. Anyway, a few things I want to point out is it is going to be a bit lower to the chassis, like the body height is going to come down a little bit. The where the front springs go up into the engine bay, is that the right word? So where the original chassis rail sort of comes down onto the TJ chassis. Also with the rear, it's going to be, I'm going to have to block it down a little bit, and it should sit relatively nice. So no big sort of ugly, massive jacked up look. It sort of looks like zombie. All I need is a couple more LPG tanks and So there we go. I'm super excited on how that's turning out so far. It is still a little bit high. There's a few things I want to do to lower it down, like body a little bit closer to the chassis, and I've got to cut out the wheel arches a little bit. So what I'll be doing in the next video is making some mounts, so it actually bolts the body to the chassis and it looks legit. So guys, if you haven't already, consider subscribing, and I hear now you got to click that notification bell, because if you don't, you probably won't get any more videos come to you. So do the right thing, push the bell. So just do that and you won't miss a thing. We'll see you on the next one.